Mega Shine is the latest set in Pokemon Pocket and it introduces brand new Mega cards, which means new decks, new strategies, and possibly new meta. Hi, Bradley here, your non-meta deck enjoyer. So in this video, I'll be trying out some of the newest decks from the Mega Shine set, ranking them into a tier list to see if they're actually viable or not. So quick shout out to Game 8. This was actually my go-to website when I started playing Pokemon Pocket last year. Not sponsored by the way, but I just really like their website and their deck list. Really useful for beginners and casual players to learn the cards and updates. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 new decks here, and we will try some of them out and rank them into a tier list to see if they can see play into the meta or not. So I will be playing some of them, not all of them, because frankly I am quite unlucky with some of the pulls this set, but regardless we will try some of them out, starting with the Haxorus one-hit KO deck. Now this deck is built around a really crazy win condition, winning the game in just one knockout. So if you knock out an EX Pokemon, it gives you 2 points. But if you combine the new supporter card Iris to Haxorus, it will give you an extra point so that it will ensure you will win the game with just one knockout. So it sounds insane, but the problem is it's inconsistent. This deck runs dual energy, a metal energy and a fighting energy, which makes it easy to brick your energy placements. So there are some games that you will draw only metal energy and others where only fighting energy. So on top of that, Haxorus is also a stage 2 Pokemon, so it takes a time to set it up and a huge disadvantage against faster decks. So overall, it's a really cool concept, but it's too inconsistent to rely on, so I'm placing Haxorus one-hit KO deck in the D tier. Next is Darkrai Sleep deck. So on this one, this is much faster and a much more consistent deck. With Igglybuff, you can put your opponent to sleep with 0 energy, so you can attack immediately on the first turn. And when you have Darkrai on the bench, it will deal 20 extra damage for. And when you pair this with Mega Altaria and Swablu with the sleep version of Swablu, you can continuously stall your opponent, keeping them asleep while building up damage and preparing Mega Altaria as a finisher. This deck also runs on a low energy requirement, 2 energies and 3 energy for Darkrai, is a fast setup and a very smooth gameplay overall. It performs very consistently and applies constant pressure, so because of that, this deck feels very strong and has a real meta potential. So I'm putting Darkrai Sleep deck with Mega Altaria specifically in S tier. Moving on to the next one is Mega Charizard X EX. It is one of the most popular Mega Pokemons out there, and compared to the previous set's Mega Charizard Y, this one only needs 3 fire energy to attack. What makes Charizard X really special is that once it drops to 110 HP or lower, it can deal up to 180 damage. So this is a very damage heavy deck, and it's currently being paired with my shiny boy Entei EX, and using its ability Legendary Pulse to draw an extra card at the end of every turn, helping you find what you need to win the game, and one of that cards is Flame Patch. And overall, the deck feels much smoother and better to play compared to Charizard Y EX. I'm putting this in 8 here mainly because you need to be at low HP to maximize its damage, but aside from that, it definitely has an S tier potential, but we'll just have to see how the meta game goes. So next is Mega Gengar EX, the poster boy of the set. So there's a lot of different variants out there, but in this video I am trying to pair it with Meowth. Downside of Mega Gengar EX is its high energy cost for an attack, and it only deals 120 damage, so it's pretty much lower than the other Mega Pokemons out there. But however, once you get Mega Gengar online, it can completely shut down your opponents by preventing them from using any supporter cards. So there's no draw, no shuffle, and no healing. It's a really fun deck when it works, but a pretty rough one when it doesn't. Initially I was thinking it's a C tier because of the low damage and high energy requirement, but honestly, because how strong the effect is, I'll bump it up to B tier. And for the last 3 we have the Mega Manectric, Mega Scizor, and Mega Slowbro EX. I don't have two copies of these Mega Pokemons, so I cannot play them yet personally, but I played against them and tested them enough to get a general feel. So starting with Mega Slowbro EX. It doesn't really have a great damage or HP for a Mega Pokemon, but it can counter decks that rely on low HP bench Pokemon. That being said, it's easily countered by other decks in this video and in the current meta. It's a fun deck to go up against but not very strong overall, so I'm putting it in C tier. Next up is Mega Scizor EX. So I like this concept very much. It feels very similar to the regular Scizor, and I would love playing this one with Soul Galeo with a much more attack focused build. But the strongest part of this deck is the use of the metal cards, especially Metal Core Barrier, which makes Mega Scizor a very tanky Pokemon, while dealing solid damage when its attack conditions is met. It is moving from the bench to the active spot. But here's the problem. The condition isn't very easily triggered consistently, and this leads to lower damage output and some awkward gameplay from here or there. But because of that, I will be putting it in B tier for now with the current support cards, but it can change when they added more cards that will help Pokemons from the bench to the active spot. And last but definitely not the least, this is the Mega Manectric deck. So from the moment that it hits the active spot, you can already tell that this is a very fast deck. It is designed to win quickly and not give your opponent any time to set up their strategy. The fact that this card does not have a no retreat cost make it more dangerous, since it can freely move from active spot to the bench when threatened, and it can go back to the active spot to deal more damage. If you manage to set up Mega Manectric early, it has a very little counterplay. Honestly, sometimes it just feels like you have to concede when you don't have the right cards. It's a very strong and aggressive deck, and because of that, I'm placing Mega Manectric in S tier for the new Mega Sine decks. Now, this is just a list of prediction of whether these decks can be meta or not, and of course, on this channel, we do not run meta decks during ranked season. I have videos on that, so feel free to check them out if you enjoy non-meta decks like me. But if you do run into these decks, here's a quick rapid-fire guide on how to counter them. For Haxorus, play a fast-paced deck and hope they break their energy. For Darkrai, target their backline using bench attackers like Greninja and use Cyrus to disrupt their setup. Take out Swablu early on so Mega Altaria struggles to close the gate. Against Mega Charizard, go fast and don't let it build up energy so Greninja Suicune, Shinpao, or even a Mega Manectric can pressure it early. For Mega Gengar, punish the slow setup with early aggression and low energy cost attackers like Mega Altaria, Bellibolt, and Mega Blaziken, or use something like Jolteon with a well-timed Cyrus play. Next is Mega Slowbro struggles against any fast, high-damage deck like Mega Charizard X, Bellibolt, Mega Altaria, or Mega Manectric, and even something like Pawmot with Nemona can one-shot it. Mega Scizor is a weak to fire-type decks like Charizard X or Blaziken, and even a non-meta pick like Flareon's Skeledirge can handle it. And finally, for Mega Manectric, you want something that can tank its damage, so Steel Dex is the way to go. So Metal Core Barrier for Mega Scizor, Soul Galeo, or even Melmetal can counter it. And yeah, I'm a bit of a metal deck enthusiast, so you'll definitely see more of that in the upcoming rank series versus the meta, where I try to reach Master Ball using the only non-meta decks. If that sounds interesting to you, make sure to subscribe for more Pokemon TCG Pocket content. And that's it. Hope you liked the video. Comment down below your predictions for the new decks from Mega Sine set. This is Bradley, and I'll see you in the next one.